The Blind Old Lady and the Virgin Mary. One day, a poor-looking woman who looked like a tramp arrived in a small village. As she walked through the dusty paths, she saw a man working hard in his field. She approached him and asked him, "Good morning, friend. What are you doing?" "I'm plowing the land, ma'am," replied the man, drying the sweat from his forehead. "And what are you going to sow?" continued the woman. "Wheat," said the man, with hope in his voice. "And do you think it will grow?" asked the woman again. "Well, if God wants it, it will be so," replied the man, looking at the earth. "If you sow wheat, you will reap wheat," said the woman with a kind smile. The woman continued on her way, enjoying the breeze and the rural landscape. A kilometer later, she met another man who was also plowing, and he asked him, "Good morning, friend. What are you doing?" "I'm plowing the land, ma'am," replied the man, looking at the woman with curiosity. "And what are you going to sow?" she asked, showing genuine interest. "Corn, ma'am," said the man with determination. "And do you think it will grow?" "Well, God willing, I will try to make it so," replied the sower with a sigh. "If you sow corn, you will reap corn," said the woman, and continued on her way. Finally, a third man arrived who was plowing near a river. He observed how the man fought against the rocky terrain and also asked him, "Good morning, friend. What are you doing?" "I'm plowing the land, can't you see?" replied the man, a little annoyed by the interruption. "And what are you going to sow?" she asked, trying to be kind. "Stone, ma'am," replied the man sarcastically, laughing at his own joke when he was actually plowing to sow rice. "And do you think they will grow?" "Well, of course. In a couple of days, there will be a lot of stones to harvest." "Well, if you sow stones, you will harvest stones," said the woman, looking at him with a serious expression. As the woman continued on her way, the sun began to set and the shadows grew longer. She stopped to rest under a tree and observed how the villagers finished their working day. At that moment, the woman saw in the distance an old woman who was barely plowing her little garden. The night was already over, and the old woman was still holding a hoe as if darkness did not matter to her. This aroused curiosity in her, and she approached to talk. "Good afternoon, ma'am. What are you doing?" "Here, little daughter, plowing a little bit if you want to sow something." "And what are you going to sow?" "Well, some vegetables and other things." "And do you think they will grow?" "With God's blessing, I hope so, my daughter. And by the way, little daughter," the old woman continued, "who are you?" "I'm a walker, ma'am." "You're not from around here, are you?" "No, ma'am." "I assume so. I never heard your voice. Where do you come from and where are you going?" "I come from far away and I go without direction. I'm like the river." "How so?" "Well, just like the river that goes to the sea, and where it goes where it will die and resurrect." "How strange you are," muttered the old woman. "You are also very strange." "Why?" "Because it's already night and you're still working. It looks like you're looking in the dark." The old woman laughed. "It's just that for me day and night are the same. I'm blind, little daughter, and I take advantage of this hour because it's fresher." "And what's your name, little girl?" "Maria, ma'am." "Maria, to serve you." "Maria, like the little Virgin, the mother of Jesus." "Yes, just like her." The woman approached to make herself pray at what the old woman said, and she verified that in reality, she was not looking. "And what are you doing walking at this hour? Aren't you afraid?" continued the old woman. "Not fear, ma'am. What I have is thirst. Won't you have a little water over there to invite me?" "Oh, little daughter, I didn't bring any water, but I have it in my house. If you want, let's go there and we'll make a soda to calm that thirst." "No problem for me, ma'am. But aren't you afraid of me?" "Fear? Fear of what and what, my daughter? Who would want to hurt a poor old woman? If so, I have no problem." "Let's go then," said the young woman, and grabbing the old woman's shoulder, they went to a small and humble house that was not far from a road. At the entrance, the old woman grabbed a stick that she used as a cane and, feeling with the tip of it, they reached her kitchen. "Sit there, my girl," said the old woman in the dark. "I'll look for the phosphorus." Maria obeyed while she looked with amazement at the old woman. "Light the candle that is on the table," said the old woman a little while later. That's what Maria did without a visit or without a motor. For her, everything was the same. Now we will prepare the soda. Don't worry, ma'am. I'll prepare it. You sit down. Tell me where the water is. Well, if you wish. In the bucket that is under the stove, there is water. It's fresh, it's in the morning. And the sugar is under that cup. There is not much, but it is enough for today. You're going to have to go get it from the yard. Maria went and came back. She prepared the soda, and they drank happily while they were still talking. After a while, the old woman asked, "It's late, daughter. Don't you think you should continue walking?" "I have to go on, ma'am." "No, my daughter, it's dangerous to go alone. Stay with me tonight, and you continue tomorrow." "Yes, ma'am. You are very kind. You know, we've been talking for a while, and I still don't know your name." "What's your name?" "Carmen," the old woman said with a dry voice, as if her name didn't matter. "Thank you very much, Mrs. Carmen. You are a very beautiful old lady. Don't say nonsense. My daughter—" "Yes, Mrs. Carmen. I have been traveling from far away, and until now I have not found a place and in which I feel comfortable. Shall I prepare you some dinner?" "Thank you, Maria, but I only have a piece of dry meat stored there and nothing else." "That's enough. I'll make you a very tasty soup." "Oh, there's also a cabbage, potatoes, and carrots there. What's left of the sale because I can't sow or harvest more." "Don't worry and wait. Dinner will be ready in a moment. In the meantime, let's keep talking." Maria turned on the kitchen and started preparing dinner, while Mrs. Carmen told her how she lost her sight. After a while, when they were savoring the exquisite dinner, "Well, my daughter, I lost my sight, and here I am. Sometimes I ask God to pick me up soon so I don't keep suffering in this life," said the old woman with a deep sigh. "Don't complain, Mrs. Carmen. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Do you believe in God?" Maria asked. "A lot, my daughter, a lot. Thanks to him, I'm still alive. What would I ask God if I could?" Mrs. Carmen answered, "Let these pains that kill me little by little and give me the chance to see you. I would like to meet you, girl." Maria smiled tenderly and just said, "Finish the soup and let's go to bed." After dinner, Maria brought water from the river in the night. She bathed the old woman, and they went to bed. "Daughter," said Mrs. Carmen, "I only have one bed. Sleep in it. I'll sleep here." "No, ma'am. I'm not going to bother you. We'll both sleep in your little bed. It looks big. Well, if it doesn't bother you." "Not at all, Mrs. Carmen. How do you think? In fact, I'll give you some massages to calm those pains that bother you, and I'll make you a remedy for those little eyes." "Thank you, little girl. How much would it cost to meet you?" "Tomorrow, when you wake up, you will meet me, Mrs. Carmen. For now, rest easy." Suddenly, while they were talking, the old woman was deeply asleep, and Maria began to massage the whole body of the old woman, the hands, and finally, with great delicacy, rub her eyes over and over again. After a while, the old woman snored loudly. The barking of the bulls and the barking of the dogs in the neighboring farms woke up the old woman. She realized she was alone, and she got sad. Then she got up and looked at the table where they were having dinner, a very beautiful portrait. She recognized the Virgin Mary with a message below that said, "Welcome back to life, Mrs. Carmen. Thank you very much for trusting me. Thank you very much for the hospitality, and thank you for the dinner. Someday, we will meet again, eternally grateful, dear Maria." The old woman looked around, and then her hands. Then she realized she was seeing. She burst into tears of joy. She ran out with the portrait in her arms to see the way, but she was silent. At that moment, she also realized that she could run and walk normally. She was completely satisfied. She looked around where the previous afternoon for the first time Maria was spoken to, and her vegetables grew in abundance and full of life. Embracing the portrait, she winked and exclaimed with tears, "Forgive me, little Virgin, for not treating you as you deserve, but thank you for visiting me on your way." The days passed, and Mrs. Carmen, from the comfort of her garden, saw how the first man who honestly answered the vagabond took care of his wheat, watering it and protecting it from the birds. The second man did the same with his corn, making sure it grew strong and healthy. However, he made no effort to change his attitude. He kept making fun of the other two and said that his harvest would be the best. Over time, the harvest season came. The first man collected an abundant harvest of wheat enough to feed his family and sell in the market. The second man also had a successful corn harvest that he used to eat and sell. As the woman of the way, he only found a field full of stones. He realized his mistake and understood that he had wasted his time and energy in mockery and sarcasm. And it is that the woman that everyone thought was a simple vagabond was actually the Virgin Mary who had come to teach them a valuable lesson in the importance of intentions and love for others. After a while, when the neighbors knew the miracle that had happened to Mrs. Carmen, they could not believe it. Every afternoon they waited for her visit, and they say that after that the farmers began to cover up everything strange that appeared in the place. But the vagabond Carmen was lucky to meet her.